the kind you wear a tie. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the world can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah. Yeah. I'm unprofessional.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again for another episode of Simply Unprofessional. Tonight, I am your host, Rob. And with me today, I have B.
Hello, I'm in bed. B from bed.
Yep, B is recovering from surgery. So she's
Yep.
on a laptop in bed.
Indeed. So if I sound like crap, that's why. And also my voice just sounds like crap in general. Double crap.
Triple crap. So, hello. So we are going to be talking tonight about an LGBTQ film. So that is why Webby's not here, because he's clearly homophobic. Doesn't want to talk about it. No, I'm just
Damn you, Patrick. I knew it.
But B and I watched it. Webby didn't watch it, which is the real reason he's not here, because he didn't watch it. I don't know that he ever would watch it either. So
I'm hoping I'll make him eventually, because ever since I watched it again, I've seen it 3 times, and ever since we watched it again, I have consistently been like singing the songs from it in my head. And like I just remembered how much I enjoyed it. So I think I will force him to watch it at some point so that I can make references to it and him understand them.
Gotcha. So the movie we're discussing is There's Something About Harry. Oh no, the thing about Harry. I'm confusing it with the There's Something About Mary.
If it helps, like when I typed it in to watch it, and whenever I Google it, I type it wrong too. So it's all good.
I'm pretty sure that the name is probably a play off of There's Something About Mary, because Mary, Harry, they were, but yeah, they changed it so that they're not going to get sued. I guess, I don't know.
Most likely, yeah, probably similar on purpose.
So the thing about Harry, it is a 2020 romantic comedy that features the main romantic couple being a gay couple. So if you're looking for stuff like that, this is a good movie for you. Basically, it starts.
We're really good at this.
Yeah. So basically, it starts off with Sam, who's played by Jake Borelli, is going to a.
He's in Grey's Anatomy, for anyone that might not know.
Gotcha. So he's going to a friend's, I think, engagement party or rehearsal dinner for their wedding or something like that. And they ask him if he can give a ride to Harry, who played by Nico Terho, I think that's how you say it.
Was his school bully.
And yeah, so he was like, basically they were enemies in high school.
Because he's an asshole. Well, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
He's not an asshole now, but he was before.
Mm-hmm. So they ask him to give him a ride, and Sam is like, no. And his best friend, what's her name? Stacia, yeah, just short for Anastasia. Stasia's like, no, do not do this, don't. But he ends up agreeing because he's like a people pleaser.
Yeah, and obviously, they end up doing it. Obviously, he takes Harry with him, despite his apprehension. Yeah. And it turns out Harry's not straight.
No. So he tells them that Harry better be there by a certain time, and if he's not, he's not picking him up. And they're like, okay. So then, of course, he waits a long time after the time he was supposed to meet him. But when he finally decides, I've had enough of waiting and starts driving away, Harry shows up just in the time and complains about how I don't remember he had a bunch of excuses for being late.
It was mainly that his what was it? Oh, I can't remember. I think his ex-girlfriend did something because they'd broken up, and she did something that ended up making him late, like affecting something, like his clothes or something. I can't remember exactly the story. But basically somehow to with his ex-girlfriend in some way.
Yeah. Well, she's the reason they end up together too, because she was supposed to be bringing Harry, and then they broke up at the last minute or whatever. So that's why he needed a ride from Sam.
Yes,
But
indeed.
the whole the trip, they start talking about he's talking about all his ex-girlfriends and stuff, because after he tells him the story about why he needed the ride, he is talking about all his relationships, and then he's like, could it be you that's the common denominator? Sam tells him, and then he's like, well, when I date guys, blah blah blah, and then Sam's like almost crashes them into a truck. He's like, what do you mean when you date guys?
Yeah, so essentially Harry was like horrible to Sam at school and made fun of him for being gay and stuff like that. So because Sam was like openly gay in high school, obviously finding out that Harry is not straight is kind of shocking because he'd spent all of his time essentially bullying Sam for not being straight.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is when he tells Sam that he's pansexual. He's like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, when you're pan means you're like attracted to everybody, basically. He's like, no, I know what pansexual means. What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, it's genuinely a very good movie, and I suggest that people watch it if they haven't already. Especially if you like sort of like, it's not really a coming of age movie like most of the gay movies and shows seem to be these days. It's more of like two adults finding their identities and finding each other, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like how a lot of the shows are, where I figured Harry was gonna be like not sure about being gay and whatever, and then he like warms up to Sam and then realizes he is, like, because a lot of gay shows are like that. But nope, right off the bat he's just like, nah, I'm pansexual. I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's no mystery. So it focuses it focuses more on like how their relationship forms, basically, like ups and downs and misunderstandings and stuff that get blown out of proportion. And
adult life, essentially.
yep.
Yeah. So they obviously end up together when they're driving, and Sam quickly realizes that Harry's not as much of an ass as he thought.
Mhm.
And then they stay I think it's the car, after they crash the car to almost into a truck, they have to stay overnight in a hotel.
Yep.
And they bond and realize that they're maybe not as different as they thought they were.
Yeah, and then you kind of get the sense that maybe they're gonna form a relationship right then and there. But then Harry gets a text and he actually seems upset by it, but Sam doesn't see it. And then when they go to the rehearsal dinner, he's like, "Oh, well, if you need a ride back, we could ride together." And then but Harry's like, "Oh, well, my girlfriend texted me and she wants to get back together, so I'm driving back with her." And then she's just there at the place they arrive, and she's just like, "Hi." So then Sam's like,
Oh.
"Okay, well."
Yeah, so obviously not very happy about that, but then some time passes and you find out that obviously Harry has tried to contact Sam, but Sam's been ignoring all of his messages.
Yep. So they end up meeting again at a frat party, basically, at the college.
Yeah, it's like a singles party, isn't it? Yeah, so more or less.
Yeah. So Stacey is trying to get Sam to find a date, and she ends up finding a date, and then she points out Harry, and then he realizes it's Harry, and he's like, oh god. So then they meet, and Stacia can see that there's a spark between them, so she kind of excuses herself. But then Harry makes a nod at some dude, and Sam goes off on him about it, saying he's flirting and stuff, and Harry's just because he said that he was being celibate or whatever. But then
And
he
Sam
like
got sensitive.
yeah, for like a couple days. But then he nods at the guy, and Sam's like, "Oh no, you're just flirting with that guy," and blah 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 blah. And Harry's kind of like taken out of like, where is this coming from? Uh, basically, and then they have a big fight, and then they don't talk again for a while. But it was just kind of like, I too was like, wow, Sam's really overreacting. But it's more of like, yeah, it's like, okay, well, obviously you have feelings more for him than you thought, and like you're already acting like you're in a relationship when you're not, even like, is the first time you've talked to him in a long time. I don't know, it just was a little weird on his part, but I mean, I get it, I guess.
Yeah, he obviously had feelings for him, and it wasn't working out. And him obviously liking other people and flirting with other people, despite saying he's celibate, makes him feel bad. I think probably makes Sam feel bad because he's like, "Oh, you say you're celibate, so like I'm not good enough for you. You can flirt with somebody else in the room. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough." So yeah, then some more time goes by, but they don't talk to each other.
Yeah, and the
How do we
next
end up bumping into each other again? Is it because is it
is the
that quiz night?
quiz night, I think.
Yeah,
That's all I can think of. I don't remember them running into each
I
other.
think it's the quiz night.
Yeah,
To
so Sam is dating a guy named Paul, who
yeah,
his
who's an
niece drags him to a quiz night at a bar where Harry's roommate is dating the guy's niece. So then they all end up there together.
yes.
Uh, and then they're having a quiz thing, and then Sam ends up siding with Harry on a question that was supposed to be like Paul's expertise. So Paul gets, even though Harry ends up being correct, Paul gets angry at Sam for taking his side over taking Harry's side over his, and then like storms out and calls him a child. And then his niece is like, mom never really liked him anyway.
Yeah. Um, and then essentially Harry and Sam seem to find like a spark again, but Sam thinks it's best that they just stay friends, doesn't he?
Yeah. So basically they become good friends instead of dating. So like there's more of a, like, they see a lot of each other now, but they're keeping it in the friend zone. But then it turns around and Harry becomes the one that wants it to be more than friends. So
Over time they get closer, don't they? And then eventually they end up going to a pride party, is it?
yeah. Yeah, Chicago Pride. And then Harry basically is kind of like, Sam is super drunk for one thing, which is you shouldn't talk to drunk people about things like this. You should wait till they're sober. But because Sam had said before that like once people are in the friend zone, there's no way out. Like you're just friends. You shouldn't try a relationship because you're just going to ruin both the relationship and your friendship. And Harry was like, would that be true even for us? And Sam's like, yep, even for us, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, so basically saying, I'm never going to date you. So then Harry gets sad and then ends up dating Stasia, which turns out bad for everybody.
Yeah, because then Sam and Stasia stop being friends,
Yeah.
and Harry and Sam stop being friends, and then it's like a whole year time jump, isn't it? Or
Yeah.
more.
Well, like also the Zach, who is Harry's roommate, the one that was with him at the quiz show, like when Stasia comes downstairs the next day out of Harry's room, he's like he seems to be the wiser one of all of them. He's like, well, I hope that this between you and he's like, I see that you and Harry must really like each other since you've ruined your friendship with Sam over it, both of you. And she's like, that's not true. And then it turns out to be very true.
Indeed. Yeah, and she really gets along well with Zach and ends up spending a lot of time with him too.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Harry runs into Stasia like a year later, or no, Sam ends up talking to Stasia about, I think she wanted to tell him he was getting married, but I don't remember why he met up with her. I think
she was at work, like his workplace, and she stood outside the door to leave his workplace, I think.
Right. Sam's roommate, who is played by the person that actually wrote the movie, it keeps urging him to go talk to them too. So there's parts with Sam's new roommate telling him to like go do stuff. And that's actually played by Peter Page, who is one of the writers. There's 2 writers that wrote the movie, but I thought that was a fun little thing that he was actually in it.
That's good.
So she tells him she's getting married, and he thinks that she's getting married to Harry. So he's like talking to her, and she wants him to be her best man, even though they're like having fights or whatever. And he's like, well, I mean, don't you want to check with Harry to make sure he's okay with it? And she's like, why would I check with Harry? It's like, well, isn't he the groom? And she's like, what? No. She's like, did you not know that me and Harry broke up a long time ago or whatever? So then she tells the story about how every time she went to go see Harry, she was hoping that it was Zach that would answer the door because she got along better with him. And so then her and Zach ended up getting together. And then she tells him that Harry's not going to be at the wedding because he's mad at the 2 of them and blah, blah, blah. So Sam's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be your best man or whatever. So then he ends up going to the wedding, and it turns out that like half of what she told him was a lie. Her and Zach are together, but Harry is not mad at them. He wanted Sam to show up at the wedding so he could talk to him. So Harry is actually there. And then they talk. They both finally tell each other about their feelings, and they get together. And then Harry immediately tells Sam that he's moving away, like across the country for a job.
Right after they finally get together. What an idiot.
Yep. So Sam, of course, freaks out and tells him, why did you like start a relationship with me when it was only basically going to be for a few days or whatever? And Harry's like trying to play it off like, oh, we could do the long distance thing. There's these things called planes, blah, 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 blah. And Sam's just so pissed. So he leaves because he has like this big gala event he has to do for a senator or a mayor, I think, or a governor. I think governor.
He wears out the governors. Like he's works in politics.
Yeah. So he has to go like do a thing of a pep rally or whatever for the governor that he's working for, that's trying to get elected. So he goes there and he like blocks Harry's calls and stuff. So Harry shows up at the gala, sneaks on pretending to be like a dancer for the performance for the governor, and like, yeah, and ruins it completely because he can't dance.
Mm-hmm.
But then he makes this big speech about how he's going to give up the job because there will be other jobs, but there's only one Sam. And even then the governor candidate comes up and grabs the mic and says like, Sam, are you going to come kiss him or what? And that's kind of like how it ends, except at the very end, it shows like Sam flipping through this photo album of them, like their wedding and stuff, and other events in their lives. And then Harry shows up with a baby strapped to his chest, and he's like, "You ready to go?" And that's how it ends.
It's quite a fast-paced movie, but it does it in like a good way. Like it's not like it sounds really overwhelmingly fast-paced, but it does it in a really nice way.
Yeah, like this, like obviously, like it tells you that, like you can tell where there are time skips, but because obviously the movie would be like so long, because a lot of times too, it's unrealistic the amount of time. Like it's like, oh, okay, all this could have happened to them in like a month. It's like, no, it's more realistic of how it's like years in between of how like a real relationship might be.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good movie though. I really enjoyed the story and I really like how they tell it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's good if you're looking for like the queer movie that isn't just about high school kids. It's about actual adults. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, and while it's got funny parts, it's not a comedy. It's actually a romantic. It's like a romantic comedy basically, where there's like some funny parts, but a lot of it is, just regular people doing regular things.
I think the characters are really lovable and relatable, and you kind of connect to them really easily. It's definitely one of those movies that, for me, I'm not really a person who can rewatch movies over and over again, but this is a movie that I've seen 3 times now, and I'm quite willing to watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like a mix on that. There's some movies that I'd like to watch again, and then there's some when I'm just like, nah, the once was good enough. This one I would probably watch again.
How many times did you rewatch Heartstopper?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Like
thought you'd say
12
that.
times, I think.
How many episodes is in Heartstopper?
6.
And how long is each episode?
A little less than an hour.
Oh, you're sad. You've rewatched a 6-hour show like 12 times.
Yeah.
Well, it must be good then.
I mean, I think it is.
You. Yeah, I mean, so like when you talk about other thing about Harry, sorry, is a freeform movie. So it's a TV movie from like the Freeform TV channel. So it's not like as high budget and as high like quality as you'd get from like an actual cinema like theater movie. But the way they do it, I don't know. I like the vibe of it. I like the way it's done.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that it wasn't like I thought it was a regular like in theaters movie. I didn't even notice.
I think you can tell if you are like an avid movie like watcher in the sense that you watch a lot of like TV movies and normal movies, which I do. I think you can tell that it's a freeform movie. But like not in the sense that it's like bad quality. I just think in the format of the movie you can kind of tell. It feels similar to like the production value on like a TV series like The Fosters, which is
Gotcha.
a freeform TV series, obviously. But rather than in episodes, it's like all one movie, just like an actual movie, but produced for TV. Essentially, the difference is that like obviously when they produce them on the TV, they use like the production companies and the sets and the editors are all like TV show editors, TV show
Yeah, like
etc.
if you've never seen freeform stuff, think like Hallmark Channel movies and stuff like that. Basically, that same kind of.
The same vibe, yeah. Where that you can tell it's a little bit lower production than like a Hollywood movie, but like it's not bad in any means. Like it's still good, if that makes sense.
Not Marvel Cinematic Universe, but better than like Sci-Fi Channel movies.
Yeah. So give it a watch. I think people will like it, and I'd love to hear from people say that they do like it. I'd like to hear people's opinions on it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked it. Like I said, I will watch it again. It's a good movie. I would definitely recommend.
Do you do like a? I've never listened to how you guys do like movie conversations. Do you do like a rating on them or whatever?
Yeah, we usually do. Out of 10, we usually do. I would probably give it an 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say an 8 too. I have to say, by the way, if this seems awkward in any way, I've never done a podcast talking about a movie before, really. And Patrick kind of just threw us into this. Like he just messaged us both and was like, "You should do an episode of SU where you talk about the movie." I'm pretty sure this was an excuse to not have to record an episode of SU himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he messaged and was like, "Do you guys want to record this?" And I was like, "What? I don't even know what I'm gonna say." And he was like, "You'll be fine." And then we're here, and I am awkward.
Yeah, it's probably because the last couple he's done not by himself, but like without me. Like he's been the host with like I think he did one with Lex, and I think the one he did one with Ryan. So he's probably like, you know what? It's Rob's turn to do it with somebody else.
Robin, the person who's fresh out of surgery and hasn't recorded or done anything properly in nearly a week. Actually, it's been a week. I had my surgery a week ago today. And see how they go together. It's a great idea.
Wonderful. So we are planning on watching a couple more LGBT shows and movies together. I want her to watch Heartstopper because she hasn't seen it, and then she wants me to watch Love Victor
and Love Simon, yeah.
and Love Simon. Yeah. Yeah, like I told you when I was we were texting about it. Like I've seen Love Victor on I think either Netflix or Hulu. I don't remember which one it's on.
It's on Disney Plus for me, so I assume it's on Hulu for you.
It's probably Hulu then. But like I saw it on there and I was like, oh, I should watch this. But then when I went to go watch it, it was like following the events in the movie Love, Simon. I was like, oh, well, I guess I should watch Love, Simon first. But then I couldn't find that anywhere to watch it, so I never ended up watching it.
Beeflix.
I don't like to use Beeflix.
Well, neither do I. I prefer to use actual stuff. I'm the person who will willingly pay like $3.50 to rent a movie and watch it in 4K on my TV rather than use Beeflix to watch it on my laptop. I don't want to watch a crappy movie on my laptop. I'd rather watch it in full quality on my TV.
True.
But here we are. If we have to watch Love, Simon on Beeflix, we have to. Well, to be fair, if we're watching any of these things together, we have to watch them on Beeflix. Unless we're just going to sync up and press play at the same time.
Well, I was just going to stream over Discord because that's what I usually do when I'm watching stuff with Donnie.
What's Heartstopper on?
Netflix.
You can stream it on Netflix on your Discord?
I can, yeah. Nobody else seems to be able to, but I can.
Wow, what did you do to it?
I don't know. I think it's because I use Firefox. I think that's the only reason why.
There's like a special workaround you can do to essentially like break your hardware settings. And like inside of the Discord settings, there's like a hardware section. There is a way to essentially break it by messing with the settings too much so that it works. But I've done it once before and got it to do it, but then obviously I switched computer and I don't remember how I did it. But Netflix and stuff all have like something called, oh god, I think it's called HTTC protection or HTCP, something like that protection, which essentially means that whenever you try and stream any website like that or use a capture card to capture any of them, the screen just goes black.
Yeah.
That's so weird that works for you. Oh,
can
Craig,
you see that?
I heard that noise.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
That's The Witcher I'm watching on Netflix right now.
What?
Yeah, I think it's because of Firefox. That's because it is because Donnie was trying to show me a show and it was all black and I was like, try using Firefox because that's what I use, and he did, and he was able to show me. So for some reason, Firefox like goes around it somehow.
I wonder how long it'll take before like Netflix or something notices this and then they like yell at Firefox to fix it.
I don't know.
That's cool. I see you got J3 open up there in your tabs.
What? Nonsense.
You're totally not watching him because he wears those tiny shorts.
No.
Oh dear me. Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, we'll watch all of them, and then I guess we could do another SU on them when the time comes, and we'll probably be less awkward because I'll know what to say then.
Yeah. Yep. Can't wait.
I just downloaded Overwatch on my Nintendo Switch because I'm missing Overwatch so much, so I can't play on my PC for like another 2 weeks.
Oh boy!
But
you can play on the Switch.
You can, but I know it's going to be horrible because, like, obviously, I hate controllers. Like, I miss my computer so much. The only game I've been able to play because I can get it on my Mac, and like, I played a little bit of Roblox, but I wanted to play something that like distracts me for long enough because like when you just literally sat here, I know people say like, oh my god, imagine how fun it is just laying in your bed all day. It's not fun. It's really boring. And after a week of just being stuck here and knowing I have another 2 weeks to do it, I was just like, I need something to distract me. There's only so many shows and movies I can watch because I'm not a person who likes to watch more than one thing at a time. Like I like to watch one show at a time. So I finally finished The Walking Dead, for example. I need to finish Fear the Walking Dead 2 because that's also ending soon before I start any of the spin-off shows that are coming. But I'm not like other people. I don't like to be watching more than one show at a time. So I normally wait for them to come out entirely and then watch the full season all at once. Which is why I waited for The Walking Dead to be finished. I just watched it all and finished it. And I'm going to do that with Fear the Walking Dead now because that's finished up to the last season, which needs to come out still. Because I'm still in the middle of the Fear the Walking Dead, I don't want to start anything new. So, like, I hate doing that. So I was trying to think to myself, what can I watch? And I've seen the first season of Love Victor already. I don't mind rewatching it. but I haven't seen season 2 or 3. And I remember when the first season ended, I was desperate for the second season to come out. And when it finally did, I was so excited. But then like loads of life stuff happened, and I decided to lay in my bed depressed for a year. And so I didn't watch anything, and so I've never watched it. So I'm willing to watch that because I've technically already started it, but I hate starting new things. So like, I've been distracting myself with the only game that really runs on a Mac pretty well, which is like City Skylines, which I do like City Skylines, but like it's one of those games where I'll get lost in it for hours and hours and hours, which is fine. That's like the desired effect because I want to get distracted and not realize. I when I finish playing it, I'm like, oh my god, what time is it? Like the other day I played it till like 5 a.m. and I was like, oops. But as much as I like being distracted by it, I find that it melts my brain a little bit because it requires a lot of like focus, and I get frustrated when I do stuff like stupid stuff. I can't figure something out. Like for example, if it says that like your citizens are sick, and I'm like, why? I've got plenty of clinics. I've got no issues with the water. Why are they sick? And like I'll spend all day trying to figure out why they're sick, and it irritates me. So I end up getting annoyed. But like that's the only game I can play. So I was like, right, I'm gonna get my Switch. I hate playing mobile games. I hate playing console games. I hate playing with a controller. You can't plug a keyboard and a mouse into a Switch, and so like I have no choice but to play on the controller, and it's really annoying. But like I really miss Overwatch, and you're allowed to cross. I know you can crossplay, but cross progression is out now in Overwatch 2 because Overwatch 1 didn't have that. Like each account on each console had its own account, but you can do cross progression now. So I was like, I guess I could install it so I can at least play a little bit. If I can keep my progression, maybe it's fine. But then I was like, won't that destroy my like MMR and stuff? But then I was like, do I really care? I don't know. So I just downloaded it so I could at least play it a little bit because I'm just having a bit of a withdrawal, I guess. I'm sick of not being able to play any of my games that I like.
Well, I mean, think about it like this. If you do play on console and you suck and your MMR goes down, when you go back to your computer, you'll be like, wow, it's so easy to just kill these guys because they'll all be terrible compared to you.
I think everything would be fine if Overwatch was available for Mac. Like so many games are coming out on Mac now that they've, because in the new like M2 and like Apple processor versions of Mac, they have really genuinely good processors. But a lot of people are like porting their games over. So like Resident Evil and things like that have all come over to Mac now. But Blizzard just are absolutely refusing to put it on Mac, and it just stinks because I really want to play it on my Mac.
Yeah.
But what can you do? Have you just been playing just Overwatch lately or anything else?
I haven't played Overwatch at all because you can't, and I haven't talked to a certain someone who else is the other person I play with. So
Bro. What will we do with you?
I don't know. I'm
Guys,
probably not
we
gonna.
need to have a pep talk.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish the battle pass this time, but I might have to cram a bunch of playing in at the end, which I normally don't do. I'm usually
I can play with
finished
you
like
because I'm on my Switch. I can join. I can play a new party with you.
crossplay.
Can't guarantee to be good at it, but I can play with you. So, I'm gonna give it a try, see what I think. It's probably gonna be a disaster, but I'll try. So, random thing here, but I was just testing, and Roblox on my MacBook runs really, really well because like I've got a good MacBook on the new Apple processor, like I was saying. So it runs really well. So I was just thinking I could actually probably switch to exclusively using a MacBook all the time. Which I realize this might sound silly, but for a while I've got really irritated by the fact that I'm always having to switch between my Mac and my PC all the time for everything because I like to use both, and I like editing on my Mac, and I like using my Mac in general more than I like using my Windows PC. But obviously to play games, I've got to have a Windows PC, which has been really annoying. So I don't know, maybe I'll start using my Mac as my main thing for doing everything, and only switch to my PC when I want to play games.
Sounds like a plan.
Problem is that the Mac, I don't know if you know this, fun facts for anybody that doesn't know this already. I know we've gone off topic here, but on a Mac, your desktop sounds don't record by default. There's no way on a Mac to record desktop sounds. Like you can't record other people's voices, and you can't record like the game's music on a Mac. You can only record your own microphone. So if you want to be able to do that, you have to install an app that reroutes all the sound to make it work. It's a bit of a weird Mac only thing there. I think it's all done because of Apple's like strict security, so people can't be like recording your conversations, for example.
Right.
But it's just a little bit weird.
Seems like, yeah. I mean, if it records your mic though, like you're still recording your half of the conversation. It's just it can't record anything else. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, but the mic is a piece of hardware you're plugging into it, so therefore it works. Whereas the obviously the desktop sounds are like built-in sounds. So yeah, they don't like it. They don't like to let you record the sounds for some reason.
Very
what are your
odd.
plans for the rest of the evening?
Probably play Stellaris, watch The Witcher while I'm playing. But
Well, I can play Overwatch a little bit if you want me to, but I'll be crap because I'll be on my Switch.
I mean, I'm just crap normally, so.
I'll be extra crap.
But I watch shows sometimes while when I play like things like Stellaris or Civ because they're turn based. So like if I get interested in the show, I can just let it sit and I don't have to worry. But like I'll usually only watch things that I've already seen, so that I'm not too drawn, so I can still play the game.
I'm like that, like with City Skylines and stuff. I could definitely be watching something while I play a game, but with like Overwatch, no way.
Yeah, no.
Because it just requires too much of your attention, and also I can't. Like some people listen to music and stuff when they play Overwatch. I can't even do that. Like, I can't even listen to music because I can't. I just find it too distracting.
Yeah, it drowns out like footsteps and stuff too.
Yeah,
I find it's like
alt sounds and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
I literally don't know what else to say. Do I have to keep talking?
No, I mean it's a little short because we usually go for an hour, but we could stop. Let me see.
We're both very awkward, guys, because we've kind of just been thrown in here, and I've never done something like this before.
I usually do a science corner. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I learned about recently. Not that I can think of. The other thing we usually do is at least another person, so it will be you, gives life advice. You got any life advice?
Life advice?
Yep.
You should always take your selfies through a toilet tube and pretend you're the moon.
Nice.
Because if you put your face down a toilet tube and then take a picture with a flash, it'll make your face look like the moon.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't know. I guess I could say something like never give up or something. Just be yourself, fake it till you make it. You know, the usual crappy life advice people give you. Hopefully that helps. Have fun. Come on, Science Corner.
It's not really science, but I watched a video of baby squids being born. They're cute, and while they're in the eggs, they're white. But as soon as they climb out of the egg, they turn from white to brown. It's very weird.
Talking about
Hmm?
What did you say?
I said I saw a video of baby squids being born.
And they're brown?
Yeah, when they're in the egg, they're white. Like you can because they have like see-through eggs, and you can see the white little squid inside the egg. And then as soon as it comes out, like it's white for like a half a second, and then it instantly turns brown.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
No problem.
All the things I needed to know today. I'm not sure that was one of them. So, do you normally have such awkward silences?
Sometimes, yeah.
Why do people listen then?
What?
Why do people listen to it then?
Uh, they don't. No one listens to this.
Yeah, you
Right?
HD messages me about your episodes all the time.
Yeah, no, I know. Hi, HD. But yeah, I guess that's it. I can't really think of anything else I saw or read this week about science. On a note of what I did do this week, I found a show called The Good Place, which I recommended that B and Webby watch because it's forkin' hilarious, and you'll get that if you've ever seen it. Uh, but yeah, I've never seen it before. I binge watched it. It's got 5 seasons, I think, or 4 seasons, and I binge watched it in like 3 days because it's so
The sex
funny.
education you're talking about?
Hmm?
You're talking about
No,
sex education?
I watched all of Sex Education, yeah, and then I
It's a
watched The Good
great
Place.
show. I love it.
Yeah.
The Good Life, I thought is also really good, so I do want to watch that too.
Yeah. But yeah, I The Good Place. I watched. I think between. I think that's what I did like the whole week. Basically, is I watched all of Sex Education, and then when that was over, I watched The Good Place. Basically, binge watched those in like 7 days together.
Love that.
I'm assuming that Sex Education is going to have another season at least.
I believe so, yes.
But The Good Place is done with. It ended. The ending they did, like there's no way to do another season. So, but it was a good ending. But yeah, like I like damn, I can't remember his name, but the bully guy there that ended up being bi at the end and dating Eric.
This
Like I
is a
really
good
I
point.
huh?
It's a good point for me to probably point out that I watched the last season when it came out, which was a while
Uh,
ago.
well,
So I don't remember.
that's fine. I was just gonna say that I felt really like I ended up liking him as a character, and I felt bad
What?
about the ending.
What? I'm just trying to think to myself. Have I seen season 3? I think so. I kind of can't remember what happens in season 3. Have you seen all of it?
Yeah.
Is the mom pregnant in season 2 or 3?
Uh, 3. I mean, she has the
Right.
baby by the end of whatever the last season was. So I don't know if you've seen. Maybe there's a 4th season you haven't seen. Let me go check. See how many seasons there are. There are. Oh no, there are 3 seasons. Yeah, so it's got to be the 3rd season. But she has the baby by the end of the 3rd season. That's like where they leave off.
Seen season 3 as well, yes. think they have announced a season 4 already. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they leave a lot of things like loose ends. If that's the end.
It says it was renewed on September 25th, 2021 for season 4. And it says that they confirmed that it will be among their fall 2023 lineup. So likely to release between September and December.
I see. Took them a while to film it, I guess.
Yeah. I guess COVID probably affected the filming of that one. If season 2 came out in 2021, they might have just managed. They might have filmed most of it pre-COVID.
Gotcha.
But maybe just managed to dodge the like COVID mess, I guess. Just enough for them to at least get it close to being done, maybe, and then obviously season 4's being like all COVID, so
Mhm.
it is what it is. I am looking forward to when it's out, and hopefully it is as good as the previous seasons. I'm sure it will be. Have you seen 13 Reasons Why?
Yeah.
All 3? All 4?
Mm.
How many is it?
I don't know, unless they came out with a new one recently. I've seen them all, though.
I have not watched the final season. I think I watched the first 2, just because I think at the end of the second season, I think I got to the point where I was like, this is drawn out too much now. And so I decided not to watch any more of it.
All right. I guess that's where we'll end things because we're almost at the hour mark now, and I don't have anything more to say about the movie we were discussing, the the thing about Harry, and we already did Science Corner and Life Advice, so that's usually where we end things. So B,
Bye.
B, where can people find you on the internet?
Google B Plays, you'll find me.
And you can find me on Twitter at confessor_x and on Twitch at twitch.tv/confessorx. And thank you all for joining us. And as always, buck booster gold. And we'll see you next time.
I love
The kind of wear it
Bye.
Bye.
I tried that life, but said goodbye.
So
I'm not always polite, but I get the job done.
I haven't really done this whole like
Can never
tongue
be
creative thing.
I'm simply unprofessional.